Good day and welcome back to another Talking Technical show. We are actually surprised of the many viewers that's starting to join us on our YouTube channel. It's quite easy. You just go to Frans the Klerk Talking Technical, you subscribe, and the moment that we load it, you can find it in your YouTube and just watch your show. Well, last week we were surprised. We almost had more than 600 people watching the show. So thank you for the support and the biggest thing, thank you for all the emails and the Twitters and the WhatsApp requests that we do receive, because without that, the show is irrelevant. But the first one that we need to look at this week is the US dollar and the South African rand. Now, can you believe that South Africa is brave enough to see if they can take on the big boys for America with some diplomatic issues? And not a good idea, but what happened is, if you look at the chart, and this is a daily chart of the rand dollar, and we realized this quite a while back. For our currency view members or subscribers, we send out a daily subscription covering the US dollar rand so that we can assist guys that does imports and exports. And this inverse head and shoulder was brewing for quite a while now, and that's the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average is clearly telling you that the weakening trend of the rand is 100% intact. And what happened is, when that news broke from the ambassador that he thinks that South Africa is doing some nasty things, suddenly the rand just weakened. I mean, the rand went from 1840, from the 8th of May, well, let's say 10 days, from 1840 all the way, and it went right up to 19 Rand 40. Well, I saw it on some platforms, it actually reached 1951. I mean, what a weakening trend. But it's quite clear, there's the inverse head and shoulder. I just want to show you there. In actual fact, it went up like you cannot believe. There you are. If I do the projection there, it went way past that target of 1920. But now what we see is, we see a Lampole formation. Now, usually with a Lampole formation, you find that there's some sort of retracement, and we're already starting to see that. So for me, if I look at this chart, and for those guys that would like to buy dollars, I don't think it's the time to buy dollars now. It's always better to buy the dollars when the rand is strengthening, and it looks like that it wants to strengthen even further. Then you just watch it on the chart and see that it is properly stretched to a side, and then you get involved. But for me, this Lampole formation below 19 Rand and 2 cents, we can maybe see a little bit of retracement. And don't be surprised. I think the rand is a little bit knocked to pieces, unless South Africa is doing some nasty things again and the world is starting to pick it up. Then suddenly we can maybe see the rand weakening again. But we can maybe see a retracement all the way back to this level. There's the level, 18 Rand 62, if we are lucky enough. That Lampole formation usually triggers some strengthening. Let's see. And unfortunately, if we look at this level, 1934 on a daily close, if the rand starts to weaken above that, guys, we can maybe see 1960. And if you look at the longer weekly chart, you can maybe see even a chart going up to well above 20 Rand. So that just tells you one thing, that the rand is in a weakening trend. Prepare yourself and build your investment strategy around that. But I know a lot of people usually do exactly that right at the top. Then they move their money all into dollar. That's not the right place. Wait for a pullback, wait for the indicators. And if you watch the show and you request that, we can maybe see you when we can maybe show you when to buy dollar again. Let's have a look at City Lodge, because this share is showing slowly signs of recovering. There was some selling that took place a while back, and what we see now is, we see this build. There's a beautiful consolidation that was being built there. I just want to show you guys. There you are. There's the consolidation. And for me, it's quite simple. A consolidation always tells me that some clever investors must find out and work out if they like the chart. But for me, the big one was, look at this resistance line. It's almost exactly at the same point as the 50-day moving average, and that is sitting at 4 Rand and 11 cents. And what happened? It shot through there. It came a little bit back. It rallied all the way, and now we're at 455. So for me, if I must look at the chart, unfortunately now it's a little bit late to come in and buy the chart, buy this the share. because we right at this resistance. There's the resistance. The previous level of resistance was exactly at R4.60. And remember, this show of talking technicals are always to keep to simple technical analysis, so anyone can learn from these programs and anyone can actually become a successful technical trader by looking at what we're doing. And for me, maybe now too late to buy, wait for a pullback, and then you can maybe see. And by the way, if you want to learn about charts and you want to see what we do on a daily basis, you can scroll to our normal candle of the day. It is a subscription that will give you 2 shares, 2 per day from Tuesday to Friday, and then on Saturday, a wonderful newsletter that you can maybe look into, because that's a little bit of a longer term view. But let's have a look at another share, and that is Santam. Now, I know with the Sasria thing, where Sasria said they're not going to cover the buildings and properties anymore if looting takes place, what happens? I mean, there you are, from a top, from 306 Rand, Santam almost collapsed straight down to 275, and it's on the brink of making a new low. For me, it's quite simple. The viewer that asked about it is, the rule is quite simple. If it wants to make a new low, just sit tight and don't touch it, because we can easily go back to this level and look at it. We're close to that level, and sometimes we believe that the share can never pull back to such an extent. And there you are. Look at that. It came to 265.45, and guess what? In November 2022, it was exactly there. So for me, it's quite simple. They finish with the selling. It's a top company, this, sitting on loads of cash, got thousands of clients, maybe millions of clients, I don't know. But for me, the first sign of technical strength will be above 268.50. And above 268.50, you can easily see this waterfall formation. Look at it. This waterfall formation is showing you that the trend is clearly to the downside. So for me, above that level, it will be a buy. Where's my stop loss? My stop loss will be exactly at 265.62. And where can it go to? 271.28, 274.31, 274.74. And maybe if we're lucky, we can see a nice relief bounce back to 280.22. I want to discuss nat gas again, because I did show this chart before. And if I look at natural gas here, look what I'm seeing here. Okay, let's go to a candlestick chart, because those lines are, there you are. Let's show you. And there's the 50-day moving average. It starts to turn that into a support. There you are. There's the 50-day moving average. There's the big resistance that it needs to overcome. I just want to give you the exact level, 235. But bet yourself $1 if this chart gets to, and I just want to delete that, if it gets above 236, 235, we can maybe see a beautiful squeeze here, because what do we see here? A low there, another low, that is a double bottom. That double bottom will come into place at 235. And where's my target? And by the way, I saw the other day that natural gas is the worst performing commodity for the last year. So if that 235 breaks, it can take it all the way back to 269, 270. So for me, quite simple. I think we can see a squeeze here. But for me, the stop loss will be that 218, and only above 235, it will probably show a nice move. And guess what? There's maybe a little gap here, maybe sometime in future, because the rule always say it can either close today or tomorrow or sometime in future. And where is this gap? That gap sits between 436 and the low is 441. So maybe one day we will look at the chart and then it will close this 441 level. But I mean, there's a lot of work to be done. Let's see if that can happen. But for me, the chart starts to build a nice consolidation, and above 235, it can maybe show some nice moves to the top. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for sending in your requests, and visit our website, www.fransdeklerk.com, for more info. And of course, we will chat again. God bless.